Hello friends and welcome to our channel. Watching this movie in the theater and getting the reactions from the fans and audience was what had really captivated this movie and made it look grand. Finally Sunny Deol is back with his old avatar where his decibel is enough to hunt his opponents and make the theater roar. The Gadar 2 got released on 11th of August 2023 worldwide and so far had gathered a lot of interest in the movie. It's a full mass commercial masala movie directed by none other than Anil Sharma himself, who had directed Gadar Ek Prem Katha back in 2001, which became a blockbuster by itself. So friends, I had already watched the movie and let me share my review and my reactions to the same. Spoiler alert, as there will be a lot of spoilers that I will just put in because I will go in details a bit about the good, the bad and the messy parts in this movie that need to be discussed and need to be understood as well. So finally it's 11th of August and three great movies are already released. Rajnikant Jailer, then comes the Gadar, and finally the Akshay Kumar and Pankaj Tripathi starred OMG2 that I will be putting a review very soon as well. I had already watched the movie and I am creating a script of it and will share you the review very soon. So finally the Friday weekend shows had shown good signs of ticket bookings to watch Gadar 2 in the theatres, and another reason also is that it's a Sunny Deol's comeback after a long time. This movie is for the mass, no doubt about it, and so if we are watching this movie, we need to keep our brains outside of the theater in order to enjoy this movie. I went to the theater with zero expectation, and when I went to watch this movie, as recently Anil Sharma's directorial movies, that is the recent movies that he had directed, had very less to zero impact on the audience. So there was not much expectations or hype about his directorial movie Gadar 2 as well. But to my surprise, the movie was good or okay, I would say, and it was enjoyable with the family and friends if you are going with. The movie have a huge star cast, though with a few from the Gadar 1 itself, but their importance was very less in this movie and were just doing something out of nowhere. One thing I definitely did miss in this movie was the late legend Amrish Puri's persona in this movie as an opponent, as he was the kind of antagonist who can bring in that fierce personality into the character which we saw and liked in Gadar 1. This movie seems like a to and from tour from Pakistan to India, where in the first Tara Singh goes to Pakistan with his son to get his wife back, and then his son goes to Pakistan to get his father back, and then Tara Singh, who was not in Pakistan at that point of time, which everyone assumed initially, goes to Pakistan again to save his son and get his son Jite, played by Utkarsh Sharma, out of Pakistan and to get him back to India. I will be discussing a few things that worth knowing about, and then according you can decide if you wish to watch it in the theatres or not. Some of the points that we will be discussing will be understanding the reason behind the Gadar 2, the good, the things could have been improved, and finally my verdict. So let's now understand the reason behind the Gadar 2. It is very true from the movie we can see the desperation of the director Anil Sharma trying his best to make his son's comeback into Bollywood again by recreating the 2001 classic action hit movie Gadar 1. And that to my surprise he was able to make his point, although his son's acting was okay and not to the extent of any good actors that we know of recently. I believe his acting skills are pretty similar to the other star kids like Jackie Vagnani and Harman Baweja, who did had tried similar roles and had not been able to make a mark in anyone's heart yet. The Gadar 2 starts with Nana Patekar's voiceover, like how we had heard the voice of Om Puri back in the 2001 Gadar 1. And now you might keep on saying why I am referring to 2001 Gadar when I am doing the review of Gadar 2. That is because in this movie itself they keep us reminding of the events happened back in Gadar 1, which takes us to the memory lens of that movie too. Anyways, the movie plot is very much predictable like what we had seen in the trailer as well, and nothing new or surprising that we found in this movie which will keep us on our feet. The movie starts with showing some scenes of Gadar 1, and then it took us to the 1950s where they showed a Pakistani army general played by Manish Wadhwa, who played again the same stereotypical Pakistan general, how he had played very similar role in Pathan as well, and with very similar look, and so was nothing fresh we found of him. So he was very furious with Taras, who escaped to India post killing a few Pakistani army, and this had infuriated him to the extent that he ordered Ashraf Ali and his family to be hanged, reasoning them as betraying their own people and country. They did show the hanging scene of Ashraf Ali but was CGI made Amrish Puri with just a small quick glance of him. Like every movie, this movie had not left any corners left when it comes to hitting India to the core by the Pakistani army and their people. And also like every other movie, it also showed the same stupidness and incapability of Pakistan army too. The first half is all about the character development, whether new or old, and showed us each personality and their agenda as well. Now due to some incident that had happened back in 1947 due to the partition, Major General of Pakistan army is shown to be very much angered or have a lot of anger towards Indian community, and also is very angry with Tara Singh because how he actually managed to escape from Pakistan by killing their own Pakistani army, and that he have his own personal agenda to find and kill Tara Singh. Now the scene has shifted to 1971, where the cloud of war had already covered over India, East and West Pakistan at that time. Tara Singh was called by the Indian Army Colonel to share some insights on the war and requested for his assistance for supplies, and also warned him of the possibility of a full-fledged war with West Pakistan. The scene shifts to Sakina and Tara Singh, where they shared an intimate moment for a couple of minutes, remembering the old movie of Gadar 1. In the next couple of scenes, the movie mostly showed us the bond and the relations between father, son, and father and mother, and also the mother and the son. So that was all about the first few minutes of the movie, and then the movie progressed with a battle scene. In the next scene, a small battle that had taken place at the border, and the major of the Indian army requested for arms and reinforcement, which our colonel could not do that as they were still very far away from the post, and that it will take some time for them to reinforce their army. For the reason, he ordered Tara Singh to go with his employees and other drivers to supply arms, and he does that exactly by going to the border post and helping the Indian armed forces by giving them the supplies. Friends, this scene was really very funny, and I still could not digest of the thought that Tara Singh led the Indian army to go and fight against the Pakistan army. So basically in this scene they had shown that Indian army is scared to go and fight against the Pakistan army because of the supplies that they don't have. But when Tara Singh comes to the picture, without even firing a single bullet, he just rammed his truck into the bunkers and started fighting against the Pakistan army by himself with his bare hands. Seeing that, it motivated the Indian army and they marched towards the Pakistan army to fight back. Undoubtedly, this scene was very funny for me, and I was trying to visualize how the Pakistan army was getting beaten by Tara Singh single-handedly without even firing a single bullet, and that too under heavy mortar shelling and heavy firing. Seeing the bravery of Tara Singh, Indian army got so much inspired that they all marched towards the Pakistan army and fought against them. At a little distance from the battlefield, Pakistan Army General was watching all this, and he saw Tara Singh and asked his men to retreat as a plan to trick Tara Singh and others to cross the Pakistan border, which surprisingly the Indian army did, and then a blast occurred due to a mine that threw Tara Singh somewhere which didn't show in the movie, and the news of his disappearance was linked to prisoner of war in Pakistan and was captured by the Pakistan army. Like I already had said, please do not put any logic into this movie, or else you might not be able to enjoy the movie as well. Now, knowing Tara's situation in Pakistan, Jite, his son, who was aspiring to become an actor, decided to enter Pakistan without any plan or any kind of skills or any kind of training at all, and planned to rescue his father. He entered using the fake passport and as usual was left off by the incompetent skilled Pakistani rangers. In Lahore, he befriended a girl where he disguised himself as a cook and fell in love with her. And I felt this portion was completely unrelated and useless, and this is where the whole story just slows down a lot. Now, Sunny Deol's disappearance post the first 15 minutes of the movie just make the movie moves, but very slow and very tiring. Jite did confess his true feelings and showed his actual face to the girl named as Muskan, played by Simrat Kaur, and then she agreed to help him to get his father. But with all the plans, everything he did actually failed. And as he got to know that his father is actually back in India and was not captured by the Pakistani army, because when the bomb went off, he was thrown off in a river in India and was washed out to a small village where he was in coma for a couple of months. Unfortunately, the grand plan of Jeete failed and was captured by the Pakistani army. Knowing about it, Sunny started his journey to Pakistan as well. And this is where I don't like the part where in Gadar 1 they did show the challenges he went through to enter Pakistan with a very beautiful song with it. But in here it was quite easy as he was still the most wanted man in Pakistan for the murder of so many Pakistani armies and still was able to easily get into the bus and got to Lahore. It was very much like just taking a drive from Ludhiana to Amritsar and from Amritsar to Ludhiana. Again, let me be very clear that the cross India movement shown in the trailer is very much same in this movie as well and have no plot or resemblance anything with the story. Even what I was more shocked that in 1971 where Pakistani generals and other top officials were actually busy making strategies to go to war with India, but according to this movie the Pakistani army and all the top officers only were interested to insert and find Tara Singh and his son within Lahore. I mean, for God's sake, it's a war that had actually occurred and so many plans and strategies were implemented. For that, you need to be in your best mental state to carry out those. But here it seems they just don't care about the 1971 war anymore and they were just interested to capture two people, that is Tara Singh and his son. Anyways, again, let's not go into the logic. So here comes Tara Singh in Lahore and the cheering and hooting of the audience just went versate the moment Tara Singh enters through the crowd to face the general and get his son out of it. No doubt that this scene is an iconic scene that was recreated from the part 1 of the movie. Following that scene, it shows the challenges that Tara and his son have to go through in order to escape from Lahore and to return back to India. Definitely they are not going to use the same train that they used in Gadar 1 or else it would be very much predictable, and so he along with his son and other POWs captured a tank and used it to return back to India. Oh mine, again let's solve our logic and the brains out of it. Like I said, post that scene where Tara enters and faces General for the first time, the movie just jumps from one scene to another very quickly with all the running throughout the Lahore. And not only that, Tara and his son will get separated not once, not twice, but thrice, and will get caught not once, not twice, but 4 times in the movie. Nevertheless, the movie ends in India, where the Indian Armed Forces surrounds Pakistan general and his men who accidentally enters Indian side while chasing Tara and forgot that they have a huge army waiting back in Lahore army cantonment for the general to come and create a plan to go ahead on head war with India in 1971. I think they just had forgotten that they have to fight a war against India back in 1971 and they completely forgot to create a plan out of it. What made me laugh out the most was the ending where the Indian armed forces suddenly surrounded the general and his men immediately gave up the arms and surrendered themselves. It was a very funny and was what even more hilarious was that Indian army didn't even jail or capture general and his men and let them go, which they could have easily gathered a lot of vital 1971 war plans that could have just stopped their war there itself. And again, please, and I request, please just keep the brain off. Well, that's the story all about Gadar 2. And so again, Tara and his family reassembled happily and went on to stay till don't know if he will again return back into 1999 during the Kargil war or not. I hope not. Let's talk about something good in this movie. Definitely this movie has some good aspects of it, and let's understand those as well. Well, not all the things about this movie could be said bad or baseless, and although it is baseless and have no logic, but still the cinematography and the locations were good with some minimal use of CGI. The another good thing about this movie that got saved was Sunny Deol himself and his high decibel voice. At one point, even when the general of the Pakistan army was about to kill him with his sword, he got stopped as Tara Singh shouted so loud at him. That scene was really hilarious. Some scenes were really very well shot, and other good part is that they actually started the story where it ended in Gadar 1, and to one extent gave justice by going through those old memory lanes and making us remind of that legendary movie what Gadar 1 was. Again, do not forget that infamous tube scene, and I liked how they actually, without making us feel as repetitive, managed to create that scene and capturing it too. The only funny part was that a crowd with lathis and swords and spears ran for their own life the moment they found Tara Singh near the tube well looking at it. Oh gosh, what a scene to remember, as the whole theater just went wild with it. That's all the good thing that you might find in this movie, and now let's talk about the improvements that could have been done in order to make this Gadar 2 a more memorable and more legend like the part 1. The unnecessary stretch of the story is what actually made this Gadar 2 not that memorable. In Gadar 1, what actually worked was a clean, neat and to the point story where the movie starts with hatred and then turned into love and then turned into an illegal border crossing and escaping with his wife and son to India. In here, everything is just seemed to be rushed into. It looks like the story was not even completed when they started the movie and did just what they felt a mass entertainment movie will look like. The dialogue deliveries I am pretty sure will become very popular in the future as memes and will start coming in very quickly post this movie, as many dialogues were very generic and flat. When it comes to the songs, the old recreated songs were okay and good, but post that no other songs managed to keep the interest alive, and also many were just forgettable. The ending was too messy with everyone going after each other, and that Tara Singh and his family and others have some superpower or something like that, that no one is getting hurt or harmed, where 1000 bullets keep firing at them with rocket launchers and bombs hurling onto them as well. And again, like I said, right, unnecessary stretching of the story and showing another love interest between Jeete and Muskan, whom also have to run away from Pakistan. The way this movie had shown it, it seems like very soon Tara's future generation will just empty out almost all the girls of Lahore by falling in love with them and bringing them into India. The antagonist. The antagonist is the major issue in this movie, as everyone loved the energy and the chemistry between Tara Singh and Ashraf Ali that really was missing between Tara Singh and the general of Pakistan army. Story was very predictable and was very messy, that could have been worked a bit more, but nothing was done to improvise it. Amisha Patel's role was very limited and was just an extended cameo, and even the mother-son's chemistry, which was really good in the part 1, was not that much in here. Even she was just seen in the movie to fill the Sakina's role, but could not revive her role herself the way she did in the part 1. Her charm, her innocence and her cuteness was all missing completely in this movie. And now finally, what I didn't like in this movie is how they had actually shown our Indian armed forces. How they have to rely on a truck driver to lead and help them win battles, and that even the colonel of Indian armed forces seems helpless and can't do anything. Is not it funny if Gadar 2 could have gone a bit far, then he would have just made his own character Major Kuldeep Singh at Longewala post? It could have been a great multiverse theme played by Sunny Deol in two different timelines. The role of Indian Army is in this movie was just a spectator than anything else, that one man can just go into Pakistan and can defeat a full battalion of battle ready Pakistani armed force. So finally, it's the verdict time. And I will give my verdict as 6 out of 10, as 2 for good cinematography, 2 for good locations, and 2 for how beautifully they have integrated the Gadar 1 story into the Gadar 2. And because of that, it didn't got disconnected or didn't make us feel disconnected with the characters and the charm of Tara Singh. This movie undoubtedly will make some good business and can be a very good one-time watch, but this movie is only and only for masses without any good message at all. It still tried its best to spill the same India-Pakistan conflicts that it always had shown in the past few movies. Now, thanks friend for watching this video. Please let me know in the comment section what you like about this movie and how much you think you would rate. Also do let me know in the comment section which specific scene you actually loved or didn't like the most in this movie. Till we meet next time, thank you, take care and goodbye.